The Phillies have a serious problem, and one they need to fix for the playoffs. Even though they have been playing great as of late, there's one issue that continues to bite the team in key moments. Subscribe if you haven't yet if you want to stay up to date with all things Philly sports. You might be questioning why I'm making this video after making one on why the Phillies are becoming World Series contenders. The reason why is because this problem has come up in some of the recent games the team has played. Time and time again, the Phillies have been a team so inconsistent they can make one's head explode. The Phillies have always been a frustrating team, especially during the rebuilding years, but over the last couple years I've started to notice a trend of inconsistency with this team. The prime example I will start with is back to the World Series of last year, when the Phillies fell to the Houston Astros in 6 games. The Phillies held 2 leads in the series, when they won Game 1 and went up 1-0, and when they won Game 3 and went up 2-1. I want to highlight that Game 3 because after watching that, I thought the series was over and the Phillies were going to win in 5 games. Boy was I wrong. As we all know, the Phillies won Game 3 by a score of 7-0. The offense exploded with 5 home runs, and Ranger Suarez led a dominant pitching performance. After this game, the bats went ice cold. The Phillies got no hit in Game 4, lost Game 5 3-2, and lost the deciding Game 6 4-1. The problem in that World Series was the inconsistent offense. They showed up in Games 1 and 3, but fell flat in the other 4. This season, the Phillies have that same inconsistent feeling at times, when either the offense doesn't show up, or the pitching doesn't show up, or neither of them show up. Take the last couple games the Phillies played, for example. In Game 1 of the series against the Brewers, the offense had a nice game scoring 5 runs, and Zach Wheeler only allowed 3 runs through 6 innings, striking out 10. Right after they took the lead on Trey Turner's home run, Alvarado could not hold the lead, and along with an Alec Boehm error, the Phillies gave up 4 runs and lost the game. Just the game before, the Phillies were looking to sweep the Angels, and they were just about to do so if it wasn't for Craig Kimbrell imploding in the 9th, giving up 3 runs. These are examples of the bullpen being inconsistent. They've been pretty solid all year, but at times they have been completely unreliable, wondering if you can trust them come playoff time. Moving on to the offense, let's take a look back to the middle of August. On August 11th, the Phillies destroyed the Twins in a 13-2 victory. In the last 2 games of that series, they scored a combined 1 run. Just a couple days later, the Phillies lost to the Blue Jays 2-1, and then beat them the next day, scoring 9 runs. Just a few days after that, the Phillies beat the Nationals 12-3, but the next day they lost by a score of 4-3. The offense is one of the most inconsistent parts of this team. I know they have been great recently, but that inconsistent factor continues to worry me as we near the playoffs. In figuring out why the Phillies are so inconsistent, we have to look at the roster. First, let's check out the lineup. Kyle Schwarber is our leadoff hitter, and he is a guy who can hit with an average above 200, but can hit 40 home runs a year. He also forgets how to play baseball in April and May, and becomes a version of prime Barry Bonds when the month of June hits. Nick Castellanos is another guy who plays very inconsistent. He has great stretches, but then he has stretches where all he does is swing at sliders in the dirt. JT Realmuto is another streaky guy in the Phillies lineup. The Phillies lineup is structured on streaky hitters, and people don't seem to notice this because when they are on a roll, they're unstoppable. But when they are not in their hot streaks, they are one of the most inconsistent and most frustrating teams in baseball. The Phillies got no hit 2 times last year, once at the beginning of the season and once in the World Series. You wouldn't think this could ever happen in this lineup, but somehow it has. You guys may not agree with this video, but I think that the Phillies have a problem, and that is their overall inconsistency as a team. They have one game where they make no mistakes at all, then the next game they will leave you scratching your head. I still think the Phillies are a dangerous team, but I am nervous about them going into the playoffs. Their offense is the most inconsistent part of the team, but the bullpen is not too far behind. If they want to find October success, they need to find consistency and they need to find it fast. If not, we might see another turn of events like we saw in the World Series last year. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Phillies' inconsistency and if you think they're going to be able to overcome it in the playoffs. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't yet so you can stay up to date with all things Philly sports. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you all in the next video.